Good evening, this is our news bulletin for tonight. Niue is on standby as Cyclone Winston brings strong winds and rain. Government officials' discussions in New Zealand looked into the potential to improve internet services to islands in the Pacific. The Niue Power Corporation goes through some management structure changes. The first round of Kilikiki games for the men's season got off to a good start. Tropical Cyclone Winston, which swept through the Kingdom of Tonga in the last 48 hours, has made a U-turn north of Vava'u and started heading back southwest towards Vava'u, and that puts Niue on blue alert since 9 this morning. Niue is situated about 638.5 kilometers from the Kingdom of Tonga and has experienced southeasterly winds and rain, sometimes heavy, since the weekend. The latest update from the Meteorological Office at midday put Cyclone Winston at 230 kilometers northwest of Niue, with expectation that it would be about 160 degrees north of Niue at 10 tonight, with wind speeds of 100 kilometers an hour at its peak. The National Disaster Council met this afternoon to discuss the latest weather forecast and determine further actions. From there, they issued a yellow alert just after 2 this afternoon. In the meantime, they would like to urge everyone to be vigilant and stay tuned to radio, Sunshine or TV Niue for any updates or changes. Niue has been experiencing a typical hurricane season with the Cyclone Winston, the fourth cyclone this season since November of last year. So far, we have been lucky not to be in the center of one, but still everyone is to be vigilant and keep listening for any further developments, because with the latest one, it has made a U-turn heading towards Vava'u group in Tonga, which put Niue on cyclone alert. Schools were also closed early today, as well as the public service, and there will be no school or work for public servants tomorrow. Pacific Island leaders are hopeful that they can improve internet connectivity in their islands following a meeting held in New Zealand with government officials. Talks more than a week ago were to discuss ways to work together to ensure a new submarine cable would be laid across the Pacific. The meeting held in Auckland was initiated by the government of New Zealand to engage leaders of the Cook Islands, French Polynesia, Niue and Tokelau. Internet access in the Pacific is mostly using satellite communications and is expensive as well as limited. In 2014, the New Zealand government provided a $15 million contribution for purchasing an anchor tenancy on a new Trans-Tasman and Trans-Pacific submarine cable to add more capacity to meet the growing requirements for internet connectivity. The Hawaii submarine cable was to link New Zealand, Australia and the United States and potentially provide links with a number of Pacific islands. Since then, there has been extensive work into sourcing additional funds to complete the $500 million project that would bring ultra-fast broadband and make internet data cheaper. On the 4th of February, leaders signed a cooperation arrangement in relation to Pacific International Connectivity Project. It is unclear at this stage what this will mean for those Pacific Island governments in terms of contributions, but New Zealand will facilitate the planning and development phase of the project. Premier Talangi has not returned to the island to clarify Niue's position within this arrangement. The Niue Power Corporation is undergoing some management restructure as it becomes part of government's commercial and trading arm. This is part of government's ongoing restructure process that started a few years ago. Last month, Cabinet approved changes for 2 departments, and the Ministry for Infrastructure, working in line with the Niue Public Service Commission, to facilitate this transition. These changes will see Niue Power become part of the Niue Philatelic and Numismatic Company. This move is similar to the changes that were carried out for the Civil and Quarry Division of Public Works. Niue Power General Manager Speedo Hetutu would now be based at the Ministry of Infrastructure, in charge as the Inspector of Utilities that will look at quality control. The operations at the powerhouse will now be guided by the leadership of Warren Halato. Director General for Infrastructure Andres Iohannis says this latest development is to improve efficiency and improve services to customers. He says that there needs to be a change of mindsets in the way that we operate to look after government's assets and provide a better service for the people. As for the staffing situation, that is being finalized, but government have indicated no one will lose their jobs. Mr. Iohannis says that if they do not want to continue under the current arrangements, they will identify whether there are positions within the public service that would be better suited for their skills. The first round of the men's cricket season got off to a good start last Saturday with all 5 fields in action. This year there was a slight change to the rules as the Kilikiki Federation cut down the amount of time each team had to field and bat from 3 hours each way to just 2 hours, meaning a cricket game would be 4 hours. This innovation has gone down relatively well for teams, and what was once an all-day affair is now an all-morning or early afternoon game. Last Saturday's cricket results saw Hakupu versus Lakepa. Hakupu won that game. Liku versus Lofi. Liku won that game. Tampotonga won their game against Makefu. Mutalau versus Hikutavake Toi. Mutalau won. Avasele versus Tuapa. Tuapa winning that game. And the cricket season will be in full swing for about a month yet before the top teams from the 2 pools will play it out for the 2016 Cricket Championship. That concludes our news bulletin for this evening. Do join us again for our next news bulletin on Thursday.